It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now running wild with the most underrated wrestling podcast in the world, WellsMania Podcast. And yes, a lot of people have been telling me that it was I who turned out to be the masked man. My little brother, Austin Theory, is the masked man. This right here, episode 201 of WellsMania Podcast. And before I bring on my guests for this episode, I just wanted to say thank you once again to all of my guests on the milestone episode 200 of WellsMania Podcast, which, ladies and gentlemen, has set an all-time record for most viewed episode of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube. And that is because of you, the WellsManiacs out there, making episode 200 the most viewed episode of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube. So thank you all so much. Thank you to my amazing guests. And yes, we will get into how I am doing after John Cena's final match. But before we get to there, let me bring on my special guests for this episode. We've got Stone Payne Productions and the WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared, Giles. How the hell are you, fellas?
I'm fantastic. I know I'm doing better than you.
I know you are. Yeah. I'm going to try my very best not to boot you from this episode. But
in fact, I might shock you. I might be one of the only people in the world that actually defends John Cena in this episode.
Yeah, we will definitely get to all of that because there is a lot to unpack since the last time I saw you guys. Jared, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. So I am a little nasally. I had a nasal surgery last week, and it's not all the way.
You sound great to me, brother. And 'tis the season, though, man. What the hell is going on with the weather here in Indiana? Like what the hell's going on out here? We had snow and negative temperatures just a couple days ago, and now we've got a heat wave of 40, 50 degrees. And yes, I say heat wave because when you go from negative temps to 40s to 50s, it feels like springtime.
Allegedly, Christmas is supposed to be the hottest on a record next week.
That does not surprise me. Welcome to Indiana. Fellas, thank you both for being a part of the milestone episode 200 of WellsMania Podcast. You heard my intro. It is the most viewed episode of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube. And I cannot believe that I pulled it off. Like, I had a cornucopia, a plethora of special guests. And how surprised were you, Payton, when the mystery man turned out to be your arch nemesis, your rival, Sean Ross Sapp?
You should have left me on here with him. That would have been interesting.
You could have popped back on. You definitely could have popped back on.
Well, I didn't know he was going to be here.
That's true. That's true. You did not know. So I guess the surprise was indeed a surprise. And I also kicked off this episode by taking off my hoodie, or pulling back my hoodie, I should say, because Austin Theory is the mystery masked man. We will get Payton and Jared and my take on that. You already know that I absolutely love it because I'm a big Austin Theory guy. A lot of people say I look like Austin Theory. So, whenever somebody says I look like somebody, I'm going to be very supportive of who that person is. Now, John Cena is officially retired.
Just say it. Say the hard part out loud.
John
What did he do?
Cena did tap out. However, he did not give up. He simply let go, and you could see it on his face when he gave us all a smirk and a smile That was letting go. There's a big difference between giving up
can spin it
and
however you
letting
want.
go. When you give up, you are in pain. I think of Stone Cold Steve Austin with blood gushing down his face, locked in the sharpshooter. That's giving up.
But
John
he didn't
Cena
tap
did.
out.
John Cena did not look anything like he was in pain. He did not look like he was in pain. He gave us all a smirk and a smile and just gave us an all, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I'm at peace with it. And fellas, I'm not going to lie to you. The way that it happened in that smirk and smile, it really put me at peace with it too. Because I didn't know how I was going to feel. I had a lot of emotions all year long. And then going into John Cena's final match and watching it with my son, and then seeing John tap out to Gunther, I actually held myself pretty good. I thought that I was going to have waterworks. No tears. So, Payton, I'm sorry I could not bottle up my tears and give them to you because I didn't have any. I actually held myself surprisingly strong.
That's fine. I'm currently feasting on the tears of the entire IWC. So
yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. There's a lot to unpack there, but I'm going to ask you guys individually. We'll start with you, WWE Human Encyclopedia. We'll save the best for last. How did you feel, Jared, watching John Cena's final match?
I thought the match was really good. I think that kind of got lost in everything and the finish and all that, but I thought the match was really good. I thought it was a classic Super Cena performance. And yeah, I kind of took it as like the old gunslinger. When he came out, he said, I'm going down swinging. He gave everything he had left in the ring, and then he just knew, like, he did the final, like, the hands, and then it was like, okay, I have nothing left. I can't get out. I can't fight this guy off. I've given everything. And that was kind of the smirk, and the old gunslinger just was like, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
Yeah. Just the ending was obviously it overshadowed the entire match. So I'm glad that you brought up that the entire match, it was a really good match. And
Yes.
which we will get to our personal top 5 best matches from the John Cena Farewell Tour. So I'm curious to see where you guys have John's final match. Now, Payton, you are no stranger to not liking John Cena. So I can only imagine that you absolutely were just celebrating John tapping out to Gunther.
Oh, I loved it. I loved every second of it. But I didn't love it. Like, yes, I loved it because I knew it would upset Cena fans, and I've never been a Cena fan. So, like, that did bring me some happiness. But I loved it because at the end of the day, I love moments and stories and the emotion of pro wrestling. And I feel like there's so many people who they think they're tapping into emotion, but they're not tapping into emotion the right way when it comes to pro wrestling. And like that moment of how it went down almost made the 20 years of having to sit through Super Cena worth it, because I don't think you could have written the finish any better. I know there's a plethora of people who think otherwise, but you couldn't have written it any better. I mean, like Jared said, it was the gunslinger finally just running out of bullets. Like he gave it everything he had, but he ran out of ammo, and he was like, you know what? It's time for me to just to go away. There, I have nothing left. I have nothing left to give. And obviously we were messing with you that he tapped out, and from a tap out perspective, it will make Gunther immortal. I mean, like, the best way to compare it is Brock Lesnar has done many things. Brock Lesnar has headlined many WrestleManias. He's a multi-time world champion. But even to this day, what is the one thing that you think of every time you see Brock Lesnar come out to the ring? You think of this is
Ending
the guy.
Undertaker's streak.
Yeah, this is the guy that beat the streak. Every time you see him, that's what you think. From this point forward until the day Gunther's career ends, he will be the man that made John Cena tap out. The man that made Super Cena tap out. I'm not talking about pre-Super Cena. I'm talking about the never give up, hustle, loyalty, respect, Super Cena. That will be engraved in Gunther's legacy forever. And he will be a bigger star because of it. And there's a lot of people that, we didn't need that finish, whatever. If you wouldn't have got that finish to that match, then we wouldn't have gotten the first 15 minutes of Monday Night Raw. And that, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. It's about continuing the story, continuing the sport that does not have an end date. John Cena's story, whether people like it or not, whether he won or not, was over. It was coming to an end. Gunther's story was not coming to an end. And now we have the foundation of what will make Gunther the greatest heel that we will see for decades, possibly, if booked properly.
And Gunther is the only person that can say, I retired John Cena. Nobody else will ever be able to say that, because unlike other guys who have said that this is their final match and then they've come back, John Cena is not that. John is done. I mean, a lot of people want to say, oh no, money talks and Saudi money talks, John will come back. John doesn't need money. John doesn't need to come back. John literally has nothing else to accomplish in his career. He's literally done everything that one could possibly want to do in their in-ring active career. So John losing the way that he did and going out on his own terms, because let's face it, as a big of a John Cena fan as I am, and as much as I was rooting for John to win his final match and to ride off into the sunset, John's still riding off into the sunset because I feel like he went out on his own terms, because what he has said time and time again, I want to leave this business better than I found it. So putting Gunther over is leaving the business better than he found it. Now it is up to WWE, TKO, Triple H, Nick Khan, piggybacking off of what you said, Payton. Gunther has the potential to be one of the greatest heels of all time. And I've said this time and time again. I think this is when I started realizing that there is a side to Cena's final match, him losing. So when I was coming to that realization that that was more than likely going to be the outcome, I started doing what I try to do best and come up with reasons to be okay with the decision. And I came up with, okay, if Gunther retires John Cena, then he better go on this mega run in 2026 of epic proportions.
The career killer,
where he just absolutely dominates and destroys everybody who comes in his way. And yes, the career killer, because he has something that could continue to build. He retired Goldberg earlier this year. He retired John Cena. So those are two of the biggest names in this business. We already know who's next. And yes, we saw on Monday Night Raw, little foreshadowing when Gunther got the night off and leaving the arena. AJ Styles was sitting there on Gunther's car. And AJ, to quote Bill Goldberg, you're next. So as much as it, because you got to think, Payton, I've been a John Cena fan for 23 years. So this was a lot for me. And I've literally, there's some people who don't know anything else but John Cena. So it's funny, like seeing all the younger fans post pictures of when they were kids. I was a 15-year-old high school kid when I became a fan of John Cena back in 2002 when Cena made his debut. So I've been trying to go back in the archives and find every single John Cena cosplay, any John Cena, anything that I could find. And I've been throwing it out there on my social media because this was a big deal for me, man. This, I'm 39 years old. Jared, you're older than me, so you can attest to this. We've seen our favorites come and go, but there just was something that hit different with John Cena. Like, this one was a lot. It was a lot to just take in. I think I'm still processing that John is done. But yeah, fellas, the internet quite has been on fire with the ending to John Cena versus Gunther because, yes, John tapped to Gunther, but it was what happened after that I just thought was just, wow, is this really what we're doing here? Everybody that was there in Washington, D.C. was chanting, "You fucked up," to Triple H, because all of the wrestlers from the locker room came out, surrounded the ring. Triple H came out. Bruce Pritchard was out there. All the referees, everybody was out there surrounding the rings. Looked like a giant lumberjack match. But what did the crowd do? The crowd hijacked they hijacked this scene and started booing and chanting, "Fuck you," and you fucked up, and just unnecessary shit that just didn't need to happen.
They turned John's celebration into a funeral.
Yeah, they did not need to do that. There's a time and a place, and that was not that. That was a moment to thank you, Cena. Thank you, Cena. You still got it. Please don't go. Any other thing would have been great right then and there, but no. The selfish fans decided to make it about them because it hurt their precious little feelings. You didn't see me doing that. No, I'm the biggest John Cena fan there is, and you don't see me bashing what happened at Saturday night's main event. That's the difference between me and a lot of people.
And you know what's ironic is this heel run that John had at the beginning of the year started with John talking about how selfish the fans are. And then at the end of the year, he was proven right, because what'd they do? They hijacked his moment and made it about them.
Now, I did love the callback to Hulk Hogan when Batista and John Cena gave their titles to Hogan, and Hogan held up the titles. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes did that to John Cena. So it was a wonderful visual. It was a nice full circle moment. Jared, what was going through your mind when that DC crowd hijacked John Cena's moment there?
I mean, I loved it. I mean, that's why, we're all wrestling fans. Like, that's why you're invested in this. Like, it's a TV show. We get it. We know. But you're like passion. The fans were so upset that night that they couldn't just accept it. They had to blame someone. Now, unfortunately, it didn't, the heat went to the promotion, not Gunther.
Yeah.
Monday it seemed to shift where people seem to shift it to where it should go, because you want the heat to go to the performer, not the promotion.
Right.
But I mean, they paid a lot of money to be there. So, like Cena always says, it's noise. Like, good or bad, it's noise. So, chanting bullshit, or you fucked up, or AEW, whatever it was, I loved it, because that just showed the passion of all the people there that made that trip and was like, you know what? No, we don't like this.
Yeah.
Great. It made it special. You know what? I think that was a better ending for Cena, Mr. 50-50 polarizing crowds, that he was in the ring and kind of like laughing with they're chanting bullshit in my last. I'm about to take off my Skechers and my sweatbands, and they're doing bullshit. That's kind of hilarious, actually.
I mean, you got a good point there. And then listen, I am never going to tell anyone what they should or shouldn't do. I just feel like common sense has gone out the window.
Oh, no.
And I feel like a lot of fans feel entitled. And a lot of fans, if it doesn't go our way, we're going to say, fuck you. We don't care. We're going to let you know how we feel right then and there. And I'm just saying there's a time and a place to boo Triple H and to really let loose and give it whatever you got. Me personally, I don't think it should have been right then and there. I think the fans should have really embraced the moment that this is it. John ain't coming back. And this is the lasting thing that you want John to hear as he's leaving. I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I personally wouldn't have done it if I was there. I would have been, chanting thank you Cena and a lot of other positive things, but then again, that's what separates me from a lot of other fans out there who choose to go down the toxicity route, which a lot of fans did that night. And if you were there in attendance in Washington DC, you should be ashamed of yourselves for how y'all behaved. I will say that you should be ashamed of yourselves because I just thought that was classless. I thought that was just ridiculous that people made it about them when it was about John.
Well, and here's the thing, you know why, and I'm going to give you props here. You know why you're different, or like I'm different, or Jared's different, is because when we watch pro wrestling, we still live in kayfabe. We still try to watch as fans, but we watch as fans that also have the knowledge of knowing how these stories should work and everything around it. The problem with the modern day wrestling fan is they don't watch as fans anymore. They watch as wannabe producers or wannabe bookers who think they know better and think that they could do better, but then they never back that up with how they would actually make it better or do it better. They, like all of these people that you see complaining, and a lot of other content creators are very much to blame for this. They post this stuff and their opinions. First of all, they'll say, I'm entitled to my opinion. And yes, everybody is absolutely entitled to their opinion. You can chant what you want. You can say what you want. But if you're going to say you're entitled to your opinion, I would say make your opinion deeper than just, it sucked, I hated it, fuck Triple H. Why did it suck? Why did you hate it? How would you have made it better?
Yeah.
How would you have written the story to make it make sense for what comes on the next episode? These people, they can't do that because there's two separate groups of fans here. We're all passionate, but there's the group of fans that have no vision, who think they have knowledge of pro wrestling. And then there's the fans that actually do have vision, that know what the fuck they're talking about. And the majority, unfortunately, that you hear on the IWC are the people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about and who have no actual vision, and they just live off of instantaneous moments and the emotions that they feel as that moment is happening. But when those emotions come up, they're not letting the emotion out as a fan. They're letting it out as someone, well, I know how the backstage politics work now. Triple H did this to get back at John Cena for WrestleMania 22. And it's like, just shut the fuck up and watch as a fan.
Well, I think a lot of people have forgotten how to watch wrestling as a fan. The three of us do a really good job of getting lost in the moment. And I had a lot of people ask, WellsMania, why aren't you going live on your TikTok for John Cena's last match? And I responded back to all those people who reached out to me, and I said, because I want to embrace this moment. I want to get lost in the moment. This is it. This is John Cena's final match. I want all of me to be invested into watching whatever happens in this match. I don't want to be distracted by anything other than what is going on between Gunther and John Cena, because I watched that match as a 15-year-old boy. I watched that match from when I first started becoming a John Cena fan. And I've never lost that passion and drive over the past 23 years. If anything, it's only grown stronger and stronger and stronger. So when John tapped out, yeah, hell yeah, I was bummed. I was bummed. I was angry. I was sad. I was happy. I had all the emotions because, like I said, if John wouldn't have done that smirk and smile when he tapped out, I think I would be reacting a lot different than how I am. But the fact that I could see it on John's face, that he was at peace with what he was doing, I know this is going to sound corny, but it put me at peace accepting John's fate in that match. And you brought it up, Payton. There are a lot of wrestling content creators. Some of them are authentic. Some of them are real. So when they're doing their live watch-alongs and they're giving their raw emotion and their feelings, you can always tell who's legit and who's not. And somebody who I feel like is getting a lot of unnecessary hate is friend of the WellsMania podcast, Wheezy Blonde. My goodness, Wheezy Blonde right now, since Saturday night's main event up until this point, we're almost halfway to a week from John's final match ending, and Wheezy's still getting annihilated because of a video that she put out there. Now, you both have seen this video, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
what do you guys feel like when you watch Wheezy do a video like that, and then because every action has a reaction, and it's either going to be people agreeing with you or people coming for you. And I feel like in this situation, a lot of people are coming for Wheezy Blonde. Payton, what do you think?
Well, I'll let Jared go first because I'm in a similar situation to Wheezy. So I want to see what Jared says, and then I'll go.
I mean, I guess my thing is like, what I don't get the hatred for other people's reactions. Like it's their idea, it's their review. It's like if pro wrestling is an art form, a TV show, whatever you want to call it, like you react and you're like, oh, that's good, that's bad. And you say, okay. And then you go online and then you'll see, so you may find some people that agree with you or some people that disagree with you. Like every other movie, TV show, book, song, drawing, all of that. So I don't ever get the, oh my God, blah, 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 about like her opinion. She was watching the show live and she said, hey, it's not that, like, from what I understood, it was basically kind of like your point, like, hey, let's not, it happened. It was how the story path went. Let's not tell Triple H to go fuck himself. Let's just like see what happens in the future. Like, yeah, everyone's adults here. No one was like forced with a gun to do anything. Like, let's just, and I think that was more her point. And then everyone's like, oh, she's a shill and this and
I've been called that before.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're gonna watch people react, you've got to expect people to not react the same way if you do. Exactly. Unless you just want to get on the Twitter or Instagram or TikTok and you want to make your algorithm just an entire echo chamber. So only your opinion is what you hear and then fed back to you like AI. Like, great, if that's what you want, but I'm not going to engage in a conversation with you if you're just wanting to hear your opinion restated. I'm going to tell you my opinion. And that's what I thought that's what we did in the society. We had conversations, I guess. We don't do that anymore.
Not in 2025.
I guess fuck that. But I don't know. It's just people's opinions are their opinions. Hey, if you don't like Wheezy Bond's content, just fucking don't follow her anymore. Just hit the block button. Like, it's unfollow. Like, it's not.
You would think it would be that easy, but
it really is though.
There are people out there. And I was just telling my wife this earlier because she's not as into this as we are, so I have to kind of keep her up to date with what's going on. And I told her, I said, I showed her the Wheezy video.
And you're like, wow, she's taking it on the shins right now. Just like
and I told her, I said, you are an outsider watching this. What are your thoughts watching this video? Does this do anything for you? And basically she's like, my wife goes, it's her opinion and it's other people's opinions. So of course not everybody's going to agree. So why is everybody coming for each other? And I said, exactly. It's because people have a hard time when if somebody differs from it's like politics. Just because somebody doesn't see the way that you see it doesn't make that person right or that person wrong. It's how we coexist together. And I feel like a lot of these, wrestling content creators and these keyboard warriors who watch the product to bash the product or watch other wrestling content creators just to bash other wrestling content creators. I'm not built like that, fellas. I don't operate that way. I don't understand why people do that. It's okay to have a differing opinion, but I told my wife, when you cross the line and you're going at other people in a very toxic, negative way for their opinion, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when it becomes wrong. And there's a lot of people, like I said, unnecessary hate towards Wheezy Blonde. You don't have to agree with what she's saying, but it's all about your delivery, how you react to people. And there are a lot of people out there who are coming off as jealous, envious, and just angry for literally no good reason, but to just attack her.
Mm-hmm. Because that's all they have. They have no opinion. Just like, and and this is the thing. She's bashing the people like that I just said a minute ago. The people that think, I'm going to quote Wheezy here. The people that think they know shit that don't know shit. Those are her words. And she's right. Like, if you're going to come into these conversations or you're going to post videos about this stuff, give deeper thoughts and opinions than just, it sucked. Okay, good for you. It sucked. Why did it suck? But just because when I give my respect for Wheezy this week has gone through the roof. Like, because I'm in a similar situation. I've posted videos, and it's funny because if you actually go and watch the content that I've posted this week, I feel like people like me and Wheezy, and I'm not talking about you, Kyle, because you see it, but like the people like me and Wheezy, even though our opinions are maybe in the minority here, we're the only ones actually kind of defending John Cena in this situation. Like, John did the right thing. He did the right thing for the betterment of the story and the company as a whole. And these people that are, saying, oh, fuck you, or I've gotten threats in my DMs. I had someone I'm not going to say who it was,
which is ridiculous, by the way.
I actually had someone message me and say, you better hope I never see you at a live show because it won't end well for you.
What a coward. What a coward. Anybody who takes it to that level, like I said, should be ashamed of themselves.
They should be. But again, they didn't like when I express my opinions to try to have deeper conversations, I'm the one that comes off rude and condescending. But the people that I'm trying to talk to, debate me. Yeah. Have a deeper conversation with me. Don't just sit in your little negative zone and hate on something. Like, open your mind.
If you're one of those people who disagrees with Payton and you would like to come on a future episode of WellsMania Podcast and debate Payton, hit me up at WellsMania on Twitter. Let me know, or let me know in the comments down below. There's a comment section down below on every video where you guys can type your thoughts on every episode of WellsMania. So I'm throwing that challenge out there. Anybody who wants to come debate Payton, there's plenty of screen time here. We can bring you on and we can let you run wild and see what you got.
I live
somewhere. I don't know whatever side it's on.
I live
down over
for that. You know why I live for that? Because I don't live in this little fucking bubble where I have one viewpoint, and then once I try to start engaging outside of that viewpoint, I lock down and I can't think of anything else to say. And a lot of these people, some creators, some fans, they only live in their little bubble. They have their little following, they have their little bubble, and when they start getting challenged, they crumble. And Wheezy challenged everybody. She called everybody out on their lack of vision and their childlike, behavior. 15 years ago, this wouldn't have happened.
No.
It didn't even really happen when the streak ended. It was a completely different energy. Like, were people pissed? Yes. But they didn't hijack the show for the rest of WrestleMania.
I feel like when Brock beat Taker, everybody that was there was genuinely shocked. Yeah, Jared, you were one.
I was there. I was there with Jared.
I feel like so many of you guys that were in attendance maybe didn't know how to react because it was so shocking.
It was
of
shocking.
the moment. Now this, and I'm going to say this, I feel like a lot of these fans,
they set themselves up.
They premeditated how they were going to react to John Cena losing to Gunther, because even me, the biggest John Cena fan in the world, even though I said that John's going to beat Gunther and he's going to ride off with the W into his Hall of Fame, future Hall of Fame career or induction, in my mind, I knew that John was going to do what he told us. Here's the thing about John Cena, and I tell Payton this all the time. John tells you everything right to your face. He literally lays out everything and then he does it. He is a man of his word. Mm-hmm. And he told us all, I want to leave this business better than I found it. And if you go back and you watch John versus Gunther and you actually listen, John's in there calling the damn match. So for anybody who has shit that they want to say, direct it towards John and Gunther, because those are the two people that should be held accountable for this match, because those are the two guys who went out there and booked this match. And I'm telling everybody, I don't know. This is my opinion, but I am telling everybody, I guarantee you there were people in that creative that said, John, how do you want this to go? What do you want?
100%.
What do you want to do in your last match? And I know I'm imitating Triple H there, but I guarantee you, John sat down with Gunther, Bruce Pritchard, Nick Khan, Triple H, and all the other people that are a part of the creative process. And I guarantee you, John laid out everything. John booked that match.
Yeah.
So for people who are saying, fuck you, Triple H, or you fucked up, he didn't. He didn't. Triple H, I know he's in a high authority position, but Triple H, all right, John, if that's what you want to do. Go out there and do it.
Because
have fun, embrace the moment.
I guarantee you, if you were to ask John Cena, and I debated some people on my lives the other day, where they were like, well, why couldn't you have just had Gunther pin John? Or why couldn't you have just had Cena pass out? It's like, yeah, you could have, but then Gunther wouldn't have been the guy that made John Cena tap. And that's everything.
And it makes it more emotional because, like you said earlier, we have not seen John tap out since like 2003.
Yeah. And what I was going to say is John probably would have said that too. If they would have been like, John, well, you can just get pinned or you can just pass out. John probably would have looked at everybody and said, well, yeah, but then Gunther's not the guy that made me tap. And that's what we want. That's what takes him to that next level.
Where's the emotion in that? Having John tap out, Gunther said that he was going to do that, and then Gunther delivering on it. That's a power move right there from Gunther. And like I said, there's only been four people to make John Cena tap in John's 23 years. Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. I'm going to say it. Chris Benoit. I'm going to give Chris Benoit his flowers here because he's in rare air. Gunther joins that very exclusive club.
But
John Cena tap out.
As I said earlier, he's also in a club of his own because he's the only one of those men that made Super Cena tap out.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, listen, people can argue all day long, but guess what? John tapped. John's career is over, and he is never coming back. So if you chose to look at this and be selfish, that's on you.
Well,
but for a lot of us like me, who actually embraced the entire 23 years of John Cena's career, and especially this year, I've embraced every moment because I knew John's end date. I knew that once we get to December 13th, that's it. So I really tried to get out to as many John Cena matches as possible. I was very fortunate this year to go to 4 of his matches live in person, which I think is like an all-time record for me, going to 4 PLEs in 1 year. But I'm, like I said, I'm built different. Payton's built different. Jared's built different. The three of us embraced everything that the John Cena Farewell Tour was. And I'm sure, Jared, I think you brought this idea up. Sometime next year on a future episode of WellsMania Podcast, the three of us will take some time and we will go back over the 2025 tour and either book it as it was or book it a little bit differently. Kind of, take it, not get too lost in the weeds of fantasy booking, but realistic booking. Because
more just like an in-depth recap of what worked and what didn't.
Because I'm going to be real with you guys. I think that John should have wrestled more this year than the dates that we got, because he didn't really wrestle.
There were a lot of dates that he did not wrestle.
So John had an opportunity, because let's face it, even though John says he doesn't have anything left, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
John could still go a couple more years. John can still get in there and go toe to toe with anybody. He proved that time and time again this year, which we'll transition into the next topic because we have spent a lot of time.
Shout out Weezy. You'll make it through. You'll make it through the other side, though.
Yes. Wheezy Blonde, you are more than welcome to always run wild on WellsMania Podcast. The three of us will always back you up. As a matter of fact, I started a hashtag on Twitter, #Team Wheezy Blonde. Even though Twitter is a dying social media platform, which, by the way, fellas, I canceled my blue verified check mark on the Twitter. I'm sick and tired of Twitter telling me, oh, if you get the blue check mark, it's going to do wonders for your account. You're going to get, thousands and thousands of views and followers. Well, guess what? I haven't gotten any of that. As a matter of fact, the amount of followers that I've had on Twitter has been so just stuck at the certain number. So for anybody out there who does have a blue check mark, it doesn't matter. The blue check mark means nothing. And I'm taking it to I'm like LeBron James. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. I'm going to take my blue check mark and probably put it on my Facebook or my TikTok, because those two platforms, I've got thousands and thousands of followers on those two platforms. Twitter, I don't know what the hell's going on with Twitter, fellas, but it's on the decline.
I kind of threw the towel in on X a while ago as far as like posting content, if you will. X for me is more just kind of like a place I can just voice my everyday opinion.
See, and you're calling it X. I guess I still reminisce the good old days when Twitter was Twitter. But ever since Elon made it X, man, it just has really just gone down the shitter. And what does Randy Quaid say in Christmas Vacation? Shitter's full. It's a little Christmas reference right there. But fellas, let's turn our attention now to the John Cena Farewell Tour. And I asked each of you to give me your top 5 best matches, not your personal opinion. What do you guys think were the top 5 best matches on the John Cena Farewell Tour? Who wants to start?
Jared can go.
Okay, so I thought about this quickly. There weren't a ton to choose from, so that was a little easier.
Yeah.
But I'll go reverse order. So number 5, the Dominic Mysterio match from Survivor Series. Number 4, Randy Orton in St. Louis at Backlash. 3, Gunther, Saturday night's main event. 2, AJ Styles. won Cody Rhodes SummerSlam.
Strong list. It's a strong list. What about you, Payton?
So I'll list 5 off. These are in no particular order. They're kind of hard.
No. You gotta put them in order.
I have to put them in order.
Yes, you can't dodge the question, John Cena. You got to give me a straight answer.
All right, fine. I'll give you.
You got to rank them from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, from worst to best. Not necessarily worst, but from 5 to 1. Rank them.
Number 5, probably Cena versus CM Punk. Night of Champions. 4, I'm going to say John and Gunther. 3, Cody, John, SummerSlam. 2, Orton, John, Backlash. And then 1, John, AJ Styles, Crown Jewel.
See, that wasn't so hard. And did you like how I called back to what you messaged me the other day?
And then 0, John, Brock Lesnar, because it was fun to just watch Brock Lesnar beat the absolute holy hell out of John Cena.
That was probably my least favorite match on the John Cena Farewell Tour, because I was also there live here in Indianapolis at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. So witnessing that match live in person, you're just, if you're like me and you're a diehard Cena fan, that was brutal. That was tough. That was very, very hard to get through. And then you got somebody like Jared, who's over here celebrating, yelling in your ear when Brock beat John. And I'm just like, can I get a Snickers and just get away? Like, can I just leave? But yeah, my list is coming in at number 5, John Cena versus Gunther. Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match. The match was great. The outcome was what it was. I've accepted it. That's how John wanted to go out. I respect it. Number 4, John Cena versus Logan Paul, Clash in Paris. I feel like Logan Paul really showcased against John that he does belong in this business, and John agrees. Number 3, the Elimination Chamber match, fellas. This was what granted John his opportunity to go to WrestleMania, and it was the heel turn, too. So we got John winning the chamber and then turning heel, something that none of us really thought was going to happen in 2025, but it did. And then these two, I went back and forth because they're obviously, 1A, 1B. But coming in at number 2, John Cena versus AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. Those two put on a banger. It's what they do best. Their chemistry is unmatched. It's phenomenal, pun intended. And all the homage that both men paid to superstars that helped get them to where they are. I thought that was the chef's kiss. But the number 1 best match on the John Cena Farewell Tour, and I agree with Jared, it's John Cena versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, the street fight. I was there at WrestleMania 41. I loved the moment of John beating Cody to win number 17, but let's face it, the
match sucked.
It did not live up to the hype that we were hoping that it would. Now, mainly a lot of it because people
say Travis Scott still walking to the ring.
Yeah, it's true. Some people say that his WrestleMania entrance was longer than any Undertaker WrestleMania entrance. And that's saying something.
The whole vibe of that, like even when you watch the match, it feels like that match never got out of like second gear. You know what I mean? It was just like it hit a stride and it just stayed there till the finish.
Well, and I don't want to dwell on this, but I just feel like The Rock really fucked us over because, John gives The Rock his soul at Chamber, and then we're on the road to WrestleMania. We're all anticipating that The Rock is going to be featured in this match, and then The Rock no-shows and just totally lets Travis Scott go out there, and Travis has no business being out there. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like Jared said, he took 20 minutes to get to the ring, which really sucked out the whatever amount of hope that was left in Allegiant Stadium got sucked out when Travis Scott and Fiend. I think we got the full version of Fiend.
I think twice.
Yeah. The full song played twice by the time Travis got to the ring. And I was there. Like I said, it was the moment of Cena winning and being there live to witness that. It's one of the best moments from the Cena Farewell Tour for me personally. But that match, man. So I'm glad that John and Cody redeemed themselves at SummerSlam. But yes, thank you, Cena, for everything. I really hate that you feel like that we're going to forget you. No, bro, we're never going to forget you. As a matter of fact, I've got the rest of my life to educate my son on your career. So at least here in the Wells household, your name will still be mentioned a lot. But yeah, John Cena Farewell Tour has officially come to an end. But that turns our attention, because the show must go on. Gunther. We talked about Gunther being the one to make John tap. He's the one who retired John. Monday Night Raw, Gunther came out, and man, he just totally embraced the boos. We all knew the boos were coming.
Perfect.
And like Jared said, the attention that Gunther should have received, he got it Monday Night Raw. He is now the most, he's the most over heel in the company. He's the top heel. He has surpassed Seth Rollins, anybody else who was there at the top. Gunther is now the number one heel in the company. And we already addressed that we all feel that AJ Styles is next. So fellas, my question to you guys, where do we get this match with AJ Styles?
Mania.
I would say WrestleMania. I think
too
that's
far out though.
No, because we're telling. Here's the thing: the career killer gimmick is not something that can be done in the short term anyway, because it revolves around when these legends want their careers to end, and we just so happen to be in this weird stage right now where, like, over the next 5 years, there is a very good handful of legends, their careers are coming to an end. So this is more of like a 4 to 5 year story that we're going to be telling, with a bunch of other stories in between those big checkpoints. And I think that Monday Night Raw was simply just hey, this is where we're headed.
Yeah.
We want you to know it now so you can mentally prepare yourselves. Because if you thought watching John Cena tap out was going to be rough, you're not ready to watch AJ Styles get the same treatment. And that is where we're going.
I agree. I do feel like AJ versus Gunther does have that WrestleMania vibe to it, especially if AJ does declare that, I'm putting my career on the line, because I'm pretty sure Gunther will be the one to say, if you're so confident, why don't you put your career on the line? I'll retire you just like I did John Cena. Because Gunther literally has that in his chamber for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
And 2026, we could see the end. I mean, we will see the end of AJ. I mean, AJ's already declared that this is it. So why not have Gunther be the one to retire him? And then SummerSlam in Minnesota, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. And if Gunther is the one to retire the beast, that right there is a holy shit. Gunther can't be stopped. Who the hell is if Brock Lesnar can't do it, who can? Who can stop this guy?
And that match in itself is that's almost a generation defining match, because it's the two guys. It's like the guy that beat the streak versus the guy that made Super Cena tap out. Who is better? Who is more dominant?
Yeah.
And like the energy in that match would be fucking crazy.
And for the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, if that's the main event for night 1 or night 2, because it would be.
Yeah.
And the fact Gunther beating Brock in Brock's home state of Minnesota. Yeah. Wow.
Could you imagine if he made Brock tap?
Yeah, I think he should. He should make AJ tap. He should make Brock tap. It's the way these guys should go at a shocking factor.
And as far as Gunther goes, and I've said this a couple times, and I want to get it out here again, because some people take it as an insult. I don't think you're going to take it this way, Kyle. I think you're going to understand where I'm coming from, and you'll actually appreciate it and appreciate Gunther more. You know, especially coming off of John Cena being like, oh, people are going to forget me. My legacy's over. No, John Cena's legacy is going to live on because now it's going to forever live on in Gunther.
Yeah.
Like Gunther's legacy now is built because of John Cena. Every time Gunther wrestles from this point until the end of his career, it will be mentioned, oh, this is the guy that made John Cena give up.
Right.
Like, so John's legacy is still going to live on in Gunther.
Yeah. Which it's a very great point because I'm a very nostalgic guy. Down the road, I'm constantly always going to be reminded that it was Gunther that ended John Cena's career. Those two are forever connected. I mean, they're tied for the end of time. So what WWE does with Gunther, if I know what I feel like I know, they are going to push Gunther to the moon and make him the most hated heel on the roster.
Now,
it doesn't take much. I mean, Gunther already has that I don't like you vibe to him.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of people who are saying that Gunther is their favorite wrestler. And after Monday Night Raw, if you are one of those people who does like Gunther, you are in the minority for sure.
Now, can we just preface it? There's a very big difference between people that are like, oh, I don't like Gunther, and you don't like him because of what he did. And these, and I'm going to say dumbasses because this is what they are. These dumbasses go, oh, Gunther's boring. He doesn't deserve this spot. He's not a good wrestler. I'm sorry. If you say Gunther's boring or he's not a good wrestler, I can't even talk to you with a straight face. Like you don't know anything about pro wrestling if you have that opinion.
I feel like he showed us that charisma by saying that John Cena tapped like a little bitch. Even though John Cena, that's my dude, that line right there is the best line that Gunther has ever delivered because I felt that, man.
Well, and also
to my core, I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. And also, like, to say that he's not a good wrestler, I defy anybody to tell me one bad Gunther match.
You can't. And people would be like, oh, his match with Goldberg sucked. No, it didn't.
No.
That's the best Goldberg has looked since early 2000s WWE days.
He made Goldberg look as good as he possibly could in that match. Like,
that's the magic of Gunther. He can make anybody look great in the ring. Exactly.
He's incapable of having a bad match.
Which, when Jared booked that Gunther would be John Cena's last opponent, because Jared, WWE Human Encyclopedia, you can go back in the archives. Jared booked that match a long time ago. And I even wrote on Jared's coattails saying, there's only one man who can dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania, and that's John Cena. We were close. It was actually Jey Uso that was the one man who ended up dethroning Gunther. But yeah, I mean, Gunther, I don't like him because of the way that
for the right reasons.
But that's
you don't like him for the right reasons.
Yes, that's how I'm supposed to feel. That was my inspiration. That was my all-time favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Of course I'm not going to like Gunther. I respect the hell out of Gunther, but I don't like him.
You're going to live the rest of your life waiting for the day someone beats the hell out of him. And that's exactly how you should feel.
Whoever that is might just become the new heir to the John Cena throne, because I've been getting asked that question a lot, fellas. Now that John Cena is no longer an active wrestler, who's my favorite wrestler? I don't have an answer. Like, there's no heir to John Cena's throne at the moment. Like, I'm like going through the entire roster and I've got nothing. Like, and this is the first time in my life that there hasn't been the heir to the throne. Cause like I said, when I was a kid, it was Hulk Hogan and Sting. As a teenager, it was The Rock. And then obviously John, when I was a teenager into my adulthood, John Cena became my favorite. I haven't had to worry about this for the past 23 years. I have not had to worry about who my favorite wrestler is. But now I have to, because John's done. Maybe it's this guy, Austin Theory. Austin Theory, what a transition. Austin Theory, fellas, is the masked man. He revealed himself this past Monday on Raw. We all knew that it was going to be Austin Theory because we could just feel it, that this was a perfect opportunity for it to be Austin Theory. So
there were some wild theories out there too. Like, what was did you see the one? And I don't even know where it came from or why people thought it. I had like a plethora of people telling me, "Oh, you just wait, it's Montez Ford." Yeah, and I'm like, the fucking why? Where did that idea come from?
Because of his ass. Nope. Seriously, a lot of people were saying, and you can go on social media because I was like, where's Montez Ford's name why is his name getting brought up? It's because of the body shape of the masked man in the black hoodie.
It would have made no sense.
If you go to Survivor Series, yes, from a certain angle, dude's got a donk on him. And a lot of people are then running through the roster. Well, what wrestlers have an ass on them? And Montez Ford's name got brought up because Montez Ford has a little dump truck on him.
Now, I will say, I believe the masked man last week was actually Montez Ford in the gimmick.
Yes, because that's another theory floating around that
I don't think it was revealed. I think they just used somebody. I just think Austin Theory wasn't there. They used somebody to throw off the thing. I believe that's the story we got, but I believe because if you look at one point, I believe after he stomped LA Knight on the announce table, you can sort of see like the eyes, and it was an African-American individual just by skin tone, you could tell. So yeah. I believe Montez was the man in the mask last week, but the reveal was going to be Austin Theory the whole time.
Fellas, this is an El Grande Americano situation all over again. We all know that there's only been one El Grande Americano.
True.
And
well, El Grande Americano is El Grande Americano.
You say, yeah, a lot of people think it's Chad Gable, but no, there's only one El Grande Americano, and that's El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
There's only been one man in the black hoodie, and that is Austin Theory. So how do you guys feel about it, though? I mean, I love it because I'm an Austin Theory guy, and I think that this is a really good opportunity for him aligning himself in the hottest stable in wrestling today, the Vision.
It's something that he needed very, very desperately.
Big time.
And I actually had people being like, oh, but why does it make sense for Austin Theory to be that guy? It makes all the sense in the world. For one, the him doing the stomp and like the Rollins moves, Austin Theory was a Rollins disciple at one point. And then what happened? Rollins kind of just kicked him to the curb and left him to fend for himself. So Austin Theory would have beef with Seth Rollins. So it makes all the sense in the world he'd want to be a part of this group. Also, Austin Theory was at one point targeted to be the next big thing by the former owner of this company. And then he completely flatlined and was delegated to being the sidekick of Grayson Waller. So like, why wouldn't you want to join this group of next big things led by Paul Heyman? It fits the motive and the mindset of where Austin Theory would want to be perfectly. A guy who still has the potential to be the next big thing, but has had it stripped from him multiple times and is now taking manners into his own hands.
And Austin Theory has something on his resume that a lot of guys can't say, and that is a WrestleMania victory over John Cena. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have kind of forgotten that Austin Theory beat John Cena a few years back. I didn't because, I remember everybody that beats John Cena. But anyways, Jared, what do you think about Austin Theory joining the Vision? Or I like the idea of the next big things. I like that name better. It's good, Payton. I like that.
Yeah, I think hopefully Austin can regain some of the momentum he had a couple years ago. Like you said, the singles push kind of stalled, and then he was doing the tag team with Waller, and then they had a run, and then it seemed like the run kind of ended quickly. But I think that's just how tag teams in WWE go sometimes. And then it just kind of was there, but they weren't doing anything with it. So hopefully he can regain some momentum. I gotta say, gotta grow the hair back out immediately. Look, the bald head, bad look on Austin Theory. Personal opinion. I thought it looked real bad.
See,
I thought it looked great.
I thought it looked good too, but maybe that's just because we're both shaved head guys and we appreciate it.
And it's always nice.
I just thought with
somebody we can relate to on TV.
When he did the reveal, he didn't have like the cool hair or anything, so it didn't really have the impact of the normal like strip it off and shake the hair and all that. But my personal opinion, I think he needs to bring the hair back. But
which I respect. I'm not going to bash you, Jared, for your personal opinion over here. One of the cool things was my phone started blowing up and people were like, oh my God, WellsMania is the masked man. Cause a lot of people say that I do look like Austin Theory. Shout out to Pluggo, Alan McCollum, Brad Sparks, Mark Dykton. Those 4 guys literally back to back all blew up my phone when the reveal happened. So, and earlier this year, I got a chance to meet Austin Theory and he agrees that I look like him. So, Austin, this is your future if you ever decide to grow out the beard longer. Although I've trimmed my beard up, getting ready for the holiday season. Fellas, we are getting close to the end of episode 201 of WellsMania Podcast. Is there anything else? I know I'm going to ask you guys about Christmas and your holiday plans because there is no episode of WellsMania next week due to Christmas Eve and Christmas. So taking next week off and then be back at it the following week. I am personally going to be featured on Ope 3-Way, friends of the WellsMania Podcast. They are having me on their next episode, recapping John Cena. And then I will also be on Between Two Beards with Pluggo and JPJ. They have also invited me to come on their next episode and talk about John Cena. So, fellas, is there anything else that you want to touch on?
Justice for Blake Monroe.
What the hell, man? What?
Dude, that was weird.
What? Why? What's going on there?
So, well, here's the weird part to me is this discrepancy that we've now seen, because there's been multiple times over the last like couple years where the referee obviously stopped counting a 3 count because they knew that whatever that move wasn't the finish to the match. And then it looked really wonky because they didn't count the 3 and just totally stopped the pin. But then last night on NXT, this referee does count the 3 count in a spot where it's obvious that it wasn't the end of the match and we get a new champion from it. So one of 2 things has happened. Either that referee just thought, I'm going to do it my way and screw it, or the WWE's policy has changed and they're like, no, always count the 3 no matter what, because if you don't, it looks wonky as hell, which I personally agree you should count the 3 no matter what, because if you don't, it looks super fake. But yeah, it was just weird. It was
very awkward in real live TV and everybody doing the whole thing. But yeah.
I saw it. I saw the highlight on Twitter, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. That definitely was not. That was a botch. So if botchamania is still a thing, which I'm sure it is, I don't know if it is, but I'm sure that'll be featured on there.
And it looked like Blake's shoulder was up. But I think the referee didn't see it because all of the hair from both of was covering the shoulder that was off the mat. I don't know. The way it went down was just odd.
Payton, you and I are local pro wrestlers.
Yeah.
We know what the finish of the match is.
Yeah.
And every time that we are getting a pinfall, we know to kick out. So why the hell did Blake Monroe not make it obvious to kick out?
Well, I think it's a mixture of 2 things. I think one, she got hit with a very stiff moonsault. Like that moonsault was very, very stiff.
So and I think she was legit like catching her breath back.
I think she got all the wind knocked out of her.
Then she deserves to lose. She deserves to lose then.
Yeah, but I mean,
you and I screw job here.
You and I have both taken stiff shots where it's like, you know.
Oh yeah.
But then on the flip side, I think that she did get the shoulder up. I think it was just you didn't see it because the hair was covering the shoulder that she kicked out with, and the referee just was not paying attention to it. So
we got an Earl Hebner over here, modern day Nick Patrick running wild.
But I think it's a mix
Lake
of those
Monroe.
things. What's going to be interesting?
Lake Monroe.
What's going to be interesting is how they will they run with this now and give Thea Hale a title run and just go with it, or will they immediately change it and have a rematch next week and Blake wins the title back?
You know what? This is turning into a talking point. So, what was the girl's name?
Thea Hale.
Thea Hale. See, I had no idea who that was. Like I said, I'm relatively new to the current roster of NXT because I hadn't had the CW network. So I've been trying to watch it a little bit more to get familiar with the NXT roster. But I did not know what was her name again?
Thea
Hale. I'm getting it I'm embedding it in my brain. I did not know who Thea Hale was, but now I do because of this botched moment. So the botched moment has now made her Thea Hale. Congratulations, the new NXT Women's North American Champion, Thea Hale. Oh, hell nah. So, okay. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Next week, fellas, Christmas. And Payton, I'm doing it. I'm saying it. I'm going on record here on episode 201 of WellsMania Podcast. A Nightmare Before Christmas absolutely sucks. That
You're
movie
wrong.
Is overrated.
You're wrong.
It's been out since 1993. I never have seen it until.
I'm surprised they didn't have you watch it like elementary school or something.
Never did.
Why did it suck?
They all saved me. They all saved my time.
Why did it suck?
I'll get there. So my wife and I, we've been watching Christmas movies all throughout the month of December, especially now that we have a son. We're even more excited for Christmas, even though he doesn't know what's going on, but the two of us do. So we're sitting there earlier today, and I'm like, do you want to watch A Nightmare Before Christmas? First of all, have you ever seen A Nightmare Before Christmas? And like me, she had never seen it. So she's 35 and I'm 39. Like I said, the movie's been out since 1993. Payton's seen it more times than he can count. It's probably one of your favorite Christmas movies. So we're watching it. I get introduced to Jack Skellington and the characters, the weird, creepy doll that keeps stalking Jack Skellington, the little duck with the big head scientist dude. I'm trying so hard to get into this movie. I don't like musicals. I didn't realize that this is a singing musical movie. I got bored, Payton. I got bored. I couldn't get invested in what was going on.
Did you watch Disney movies as a kid?
But that's the thing is like, yes, I don't mind the singing, but for some reason in this movie, I just couldn't get behind it. I was lost. I was like, why? Like, why should I care about this movie? So I tried getting as far into it as I could. I made it to 38 minutes. I looked at my wife and
you didn't even get to Oogie Boogie, the best parts of the film.
I looked at my wife and I said, how are you feeling about this? And she looks at me and she goes, I'm done if you're done. And I'm like, thank you. I want to be done like 10 minutes ago. So he turned it off. I made it 38 minutes into a Nightmare Before Christmas. I will never watch that movie ever again.
I just want to go on record and say the absolute ridiculous idea that you are like, I don't like musicals, but then a year ago you argued till your last breath that Megan Thee Stallion was the right theme song for SmackDown. That discrepancy is insane.
Well, the avenue that WWE had gone down involving hip-hop artists, it just made sense to have Megan Thee Stallion as the SmackDown theme song. And obviously we got Travis Scott in the main event at WrestleMania 41. So, and now Drake is having an OVO collab with WWE. I can't wait to see those prices.
Yeah, I'm over it.
But yeah, I mean, when it comes to musicals, I don't mind certain musicals that actually captivate me, like Grease. I love Grease. Absolutely love Grease. But as far as A Nightmare Before Christmas, I'm sorry, Payton. Sorry, not sorry. I couldn't get behind it. I just couldn't get behind it. I tried so hard.
You didn't give it enough of a chance.
I gave it more time than I thought I was going to give it. So there's that. But talking about Christmas movies, what are some of your guys' go-to Christmas movies that you have to watch heading into Christmas?
The Grinch. It's my tradition every Christmas Eve. I watch Jim Carrey's The Grinch every Christmas Eve.
Now I can get on board with The Grinch. I know they're singing in that one, but I love that story. And Jim Carrey, can never really go wrong with Jim Carrey. What about you, Jared?
Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Classic.
Are you can get vulnerable with me. I'll get vulnerable with you. That scene when Clark is up in the attic watching the old home videos. Does it make you cry?
No, I can't say it does.
The way you did that and the reaction on Jared's face.
Where's this going?
Priceless.
Yeah, I was really concerned which scene you were going to pick out there. So,
dude, Jared already gave us one of the most iconic moments of 2025 when he lost his shit a couple episodes ago. People still reach out to me and they're like, dude, Jared's authentic reaction was priceless. But yeah, that scene when Clark is up in the attic watching the old home videos, it gets me every time. The older I'm getting, the more I think now, especially that I'm a dad, the softer I've become. Like, my goodness, things just hit different. It's crazy, fellas. My go-to movie that I watch every Christmas is Jingle All the Way. I love a good chase for an action figure. As an action figure collector, you both are as well. Watching that movie, it hits. It's so real and relatable. Because when I've been on the hunt for the LJNs, and they've been congratulations, you got your Turbo Man. I hope Santa Claus brings me the John Cena LJN because I couldn't find it anywhere out in the stores. So that's kind of been like my Turbo Man chase, has been trying to find that John Cena LJN. But yeah, I love Jingle All the Way. It never gets old. I will watch that till the day I die. Another one is A Christmas Story. Like, that's my all-time favorite Christmas movie, is A Christmas Story. It's one of my favorite Christmas traditions, is watching it on throughout Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, whenever it's on the TV, depending on what I'm doing. It's just nice. It's just a nice tradition that literally ever since I was a kid, that thing's been running wild. So, but yeah, fellas, I hope that you both have a Merry Christmas. Anything, I know we're all grown men and we can go out and buy stuff, but it's the spirit of the holiday. Is there something that you're hoping that Santa does bring you guys this year for Christmas, Payton?
This one, it kind of goes off. So, I had the eye surgery.
Yes.
Basically is like, that's I already got my Christmas wish. That's what I wanted. I got new eyes, but to go with that, and it's just because I've never been able to be this guy or wear them. I was very adamant on the thing that I want, because I've never been able to do it, is I want a very cool, nice pair of sunglasses that I can wear, because I've never been able to actually wear them.
Okay.
Because I've been having to wear normal glasses to see.
Yeah.
So I want some shades. I want some Braun Breaker Vision shades, Final Boss Rock shades. I want sunglasses.
You should definitely check out Oakley. I'm a big Oakley guy. I've been wearing Oakley sunglasses for a very long time. So get on Oakley's website. I'm sure you've probably already been looking at sunglasses. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you've stumbled upon Oakley, because they're the best. They're the top tier of sunglasses. Now, I know the prices are they're a little high, but that's what Christmas is all about. Santa goes and and brings it to you. You don't have to spend a thing. So, and those glasses that I wear, those Macho Man Bret Hart looking glasses, those are Oakley's. So I'm curious to see what Santa brings you. Sunglasses. I did not see that coming on the top of your Christmas list. What about you, Jared?
It's always hard, especially now that I'm like we're getting older. Like anything I really want, I just buy because
exactly
I'm an adult with money. So like,
right,
every year is just like hard for like the Christmas. I miss being nostalgic for more of the holiday stuff. Like I got to relive it a couple years ago with Kiana. Like you're about to relive a whole other boom with the kid. Like you won't even know. And then like now that Kiana's older, now she's an adult.
Yeah.
It's kind of back to like, I miss it a bit, but you know, I just miss the nostalgia of Christmas more so than gifts.
Sorry, I thought we just got kicked out. Clip generation is experiencing high demand. You may notice longer processing times or occasional timeouts. Great.
That's your cue to close this episode.
But no, I understand where you're coming from, Jared. And yes,
you got quite a run coming though. Like you got like 8, 10, 12 years.
The run that I'm about to go on is going to be just magical. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Christmas. Mainly the older I've gotten is just spending time with my loved ones that are still here. That's the best gift of all. I know it sounds cheesy and corny, but like Clark Griswold up in the attic watching old home videos of relatives who are no longer with us, I can't express it enough to really embrace the people that you do still have in your life, because it hits different at the holiday time. There's times where I reminisce my grandparents. I have no grandparents left, so it's like Christmas has been weird ever since my grandparents passed, because we had to try to find a new way to celebrate, because we always would just go over to their houses. So it really embraced the family that you do still have. And like Jared said, now that I've got a son, it's going to be Purple Monkey in a bubblegum tree. I know neither one of you know what the hell that is, but my fellow dads out there, that is a banger. That'll probably be my number one Spotify rap next year, is Purple Monkey in a bubblegum tree. Do yourselves a favor, fellas. If you're curious, just go type it in. It's a banger. It's a bop for the kids. And my son, he's captivated by it. Like when he's getting fuss bussy, I put that song on, No More Crash Out. My son loves to crash out, mainly because he's hungry, but who doesn't, right? But yes,
probably just annoyed by you, honestly.
No, he loves the camera. Like he's very photogenic. He loves when I do promos with him. As a matter of fact, I've been going back and forth with the At family in the Snaps and Straps tournament. I started the Final Four on my side of the bracket, and the At family and I have now gone back and forth because he's using his family. So I'm going to be using Theo as my tag team partner, taking down the At family to advance to the championship, where I hope to see you, Payton. I hope you beat Just Laying Down,
which neither of us
JLD.
Neither of us have put promos out yet. I've got my reasons. It's coming, but I'm curious. I was curious to see if Just Laying Down would have balls, unlike the last 3 people that I've faced, and go first, but he hasn't. So I'll probably have to take the initiative again, which I've had to do every single round. But that's okay. I can do that.
But I look forward to the outcomes of your side of the bracket, my side of the bracket, and the inevitable you versus me, brother, for that championship title. It's written in the stars. But yes, I hope you both have a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys get your sunglasses, and Jared, I hope you get the nostalgia time with your family. And like I said, my Christmas is going to be dominated by what my family and Ashley's family gets Theo. The Theo Christmas this year, but I do hope Santa does bring me that John Cena LJN. All right, before we go, plug your guys' social media, and then we will officially go home. Payton?
Stone Payne Productions on Instagram, X, primarily TikTok.
No threats allowed.
I mean, if you're going to threaten me, be prepared. I will tell you what I responded. The guy that did threaten me, I simply responded with a gif of The Rock that said, "Bring it, bitch." So, if you're going to threaten me, if you're going to shoot at the king, don't miss. That's all I'm going to say. Stone Payne Productions on TikTok, 12K has been hit. Great way to end the year.
Hell yeah.
Seeing that milestone. You're not far behind. You should be hitting it here, I imagine, pretty soon. But
I think I'm at 11.8 was the last time I looked.
Yep. So we are at 12, and now we are on the road to those teens. We're almost out of the preteen phase. We're going to become a teenager on TikTok here soon, and when I get to 13,000. So that is next, and I imagine that will come sometime early 2026.
Yes, be sure to follow Stone Payne Productions on the TikTok. Jared?
JC Giles on the X, WWE Human Encyclopedia on TikTok. That's where you can reach me.
And you can follow me all over everywhere at WellsMania, but be sure to subscribe to the WellsMania podcast. And yes, I hear you. I may try to make a comeback on Spotify in 2026 because apparently people just don't like watching podcasts on YouTube. I've had numerous people tell me that they miss me on Spotify because it's easier to listen to a podcast on Spotify, which I get. But it's if you're a fan of the show, you're going to follow me no matter what platform I'm running wild on. So maybe one of my New Year's resolutions when we do the WellsMania year-end show is to possibly get back on Spotify somehow, some way. I don't know. Maybe I got to start a new titled an account podcast to get on there. But yes, fellas, thank you as always for giving me your time to run wild on WellsMania Podcast. And you can go to brainbustertees.com. I just dropped new merch. A lot of you have been asking, when's new merch going to drop? I want to buy it. Well, guess what? It's running wild now. The WellsMania Podcast logo is a part of this new homage series that I'm doing, where I am paying homage to the WrestleManias that I have personally attended. So the new logo is inspired by Jared. You'll appreciate this. And hell, Payton, you were there too. We just didn't know each other. The WrestleMania 28 logo. It's really badass. And it's on everything you can think of. Sweatshirts, tank tops, hoodies, hats, beanies, because it might be winter where you're at. It might not be. You might be able to wear a tank top. Who knows? I'm trying to cover all weather related wherever the demographic is where the geographical locations where Wells Maniacs run wild. There's something for you. BrainbusterTees.com. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. We will be back after the holidays to wrap up what has been arguably one of the wildest years of my life in 2025. Thank you, Stone Payne Productions. Thank you, WWE Human Encyclopedia, Jared Giles. Until next episode, take care. Run wild, stay positive, and dominate the day. I think I botched my own outro right there.
Happy holidays.
Take care. Stay positive. Run wild.
End it.
And dominate the day. Nailed it.